Yeah. 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 What the fuck is up, y'all? It's your boy. Welcome back to the Our Only Hope Instrumental Breakdown series. It is the last episode. I did not think I'd make it this far. So today is the last episode. And that means we're going to be covering the final boss. And if you didn't already know, this will be track number 9, the last track on Our Only Hope, Volume 1. Which, if this comes out on time, this will be February 11th at 8 o'clock. So, just know that this will be out in less than 48 hours. The reason why I call this the final boss is because, you know, it sounds like you're in a final boss battle. I don't know. You know what? Since I edited these, put up just a whole bunch of pictures of all of the fucking toughest final bosses. Yeah. Those fuckers, alright? Those are the vibes that I'm going for this song. It leads to a very crazy crescendo at the end. It's a big build up.
A lot of boss ass bitch kind of sounds going all the way through it.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. The name is pretty self-explanatory. It just sounds like, you know, you're in that heat of the moment, right? You're just fucking finally made it through to the end. It's a perfect symbolism for my album because you're like,
fuck!
This shit
sucks!
But then you get to this song, and then you're like,
fuck!
It still
sucks!
So, the idea for this project came right after I was done with Elevate, which came out which came out July of 2023 or 4. I'll put up a screenshot of the time. But yeah, it came out then. And as soon as it came out, I was thinking like, okay, I'm kind of getting better at this beat making stuff. I think I should start selling these, right? But I'm not very good at the marketing and the networking and the, you know, the social media bullshit. So I just thought, fuck it. You know, I think they have artistic value to them. I don't necessarily want to give them up to people for, you know, chump change, you know. So yeah, I decided to compile the best ones, and that eventually became this. And a lot of the beats that I intended to have for this album ended up being actual songs. Like if you listen to my song Keebler.
I treat beef like the joints I smoke. I take one breath and I'm up in the sky. I don't got no...
That or my song Lapis Lazuli.
Lapis Lazuli up on the pennant. I put it on when I get upset. Lounging in a jacuzzi. The water's not stagnant. I can feel the jets. Ooh.
And along with a few other ones. Those were beats originally intended for this, but I decided to write lyrics to them because they spoke to me in a certain way. But these, I, you know, for the most part have not written any lyrics to. I just think that these are plain old as is. So that's why I decided to make this album, is because I think the job is done for these. I think if I put my voice to it, it'll just
make it sound worse than it already is. So
yeah, Our Only Hope, Volume 1. But also, mind you, I'm 4 years into this, so I'm in no way a fucking gangster at beat making. This is just a fun thing that I like to do, and I like to share it with people. So if you do find time to listen to Our on the Hill Volume 1, just know that there's a lot of heart and soul that was put onto this throughout a long period of time. So, yeah. Anyway, enough of my bullshit talking. We'll go ahead and just hop right into it. So, first thing I got here is the hi-hats. There's a lot going on. Okay, before we go any further into this,
I gotta make a disclaimer.
This song in particular, this is either going to be really, really good or really, really bad when it gets on the streaming platforms. In FL Studio, perfect. But then, you go through submitting it to the distribution companies and you have to meet their standards and what have you. And 9 times out of 10, when my songs come out, they end up sounding of a lesser quality than what I wanted them to be. Not bad, but you got to turn up the dial a couple more turns, when you listen to it. It's a little bit quieter than the average song. I'm sure that's a mixing and mastering issue, which, as you can tell, if you watch the plugins that I've put into things, you know that I'm no way qualified to do any of that on a professional level. But yeah, this beat has a lot of
crazy fucking sounds into it, and they're all weaved into each other in a weird way. And
yeah, when this comes out onto streaming platforms, I don't know how it's going to sound. I don't know if it's going to break your car speakers or you're going to have to turn it up like 30 fucking measures or some shit, Get like 3 newtons on that bitch. It could be good or could be bad. This is the one track where I'm like, eh. And this also took the longest to make. There's a lot of things in here. But next up, we just have a super stupid simple snare. And I'll go over the effects for the whole drum pattern after we're done with it because this has a lot to it and I want to make this kind of fast. So that's the snare. Pretty plain simple, nothing crazy. Next up, we have the kick pattern. Did a little bit of velocity control here and a little bit of panning, but no note change. This is all just one hits. Next up, we have the 808 pattern. Yeah, this drum pattern sounds crazy when you listen to it incrementally, but when it comes together, kind of has a nice sound to it. A little bit of velocity change, not really any panning, and then yeah, you can see I got little slider notes and shit's going a little crazy with the 808s, man. Next up, we have, hold on, let me do this. Woodblock sound. Kind of adds to the eeriness of things. Next up, we have kind of a ghoulish sound, quite ghostly. That almost sounds like it could be the hidden bird, but it is not. It is not the hidden bird. Next up, we have kind of a, well, I guess it would be a perk. But yeah, this is the UFO kind of Zorpy-ish kind of sound. There's a lot of echoes in the song. And then here we have the hidden bird. And it is a crow again. I'm reusing the same bird in this one. Get off my dick, alright? That ghost sound could also be a bird, alright?
You don't know what I'm doing.
But yeah, this is the old crow sound. Yeah, you know, pretty fucking crowy. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and play the drum pattern for you, and then I'll go over, you know, the effects that I put into it and all that pizzazz. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and do this very, very fast. But for the hi-hats, I got the Fruity EQ and fuck. Alright, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do it. I'm done. Yeah, so I cut out all that low ends, put a little bit of the fruity delay. Then for the snare, I got the I got nothing. Okay, okay. I just have a fruity reverb on that. And then for the kick, I have fruity EQ and then the Pro Fab filter. And that is also being routed to the drum mix where I have the 808 going there as well, where I have a fruity EQ and then the Pro Fab filter. And then in the drums, I have yet another Pro Fab filter. So, yeah, this is limited the fuck up. Yeah. Then for the wood block sound, I have a fruity reverb, the EQ, the Valhalla frequency echo. Rest in peace, man. Then I got the blorp sound, and that's where I have the fruity EQ. Then I have the fruity reverb, the Valhalla frequency echo, and then the RC20 retro color. And I put a little bit of wobble and shit on there, and you know, a few other little things. Then I have the hidden bird, the crow, which I have the fruity EQ, the Valhalla frequency echo yet again. Then I got the Pro L Fab filter. And then the RC20 retro color yet again. I'm using... Okay, yeah, this is the last episode, so you know that I'm using the same fucking 10 plugins for this whole album. Okay, so
just get off my dick and just listen.
yeah, that is the drum pattern there. Oh yeah, I also added a reverse triangle like I showed you before. I don't got to go into the plugins on that because I already have, but yeah, this is like the swiper into the hooks and verses and shit. Alright, so next up we have the main melody of the song, which there's a lot of things interlapping here, but this is the piano noise that I got going on. I'll just go ahead and play it naturally for you. Yeah, it's definitely very last level type shit. You know, this is when you're like heart beating, sweat going, and you're trying to get that princess, man. You know what I mean? And for that there, I have a RC20 retro color with the sampler 12-bit noise to give that video game effect to it, and you'll know why here in a moment. Then I have the fruity EQ. Then I have the halftime, which this is automated. Then I have the automated fruity EQ. And then I have a Pro LFAB filter on there. Pretty standard shit. So this is how the automation for this goes. Fades it in quite nicely. And I did a little bit of, you know, half hits here. And then kind of fades out at the end too. So that's how that goes. Then I'll go ahead and show you the halftime that I put onto the piano noise. And this is how that sounds. Yeah, cool fucking shit there. And then next up, I have the secondary melody, which is some creepy ass violin noise that I had done a whole bunch of chopping and shit to. And I'll go ahead and play it for you. This is how that sounds.
It's super spooky.
And I did a little bit of a different chopping pattern here in the middle. So this is how that sounds. Also here at the bridge. Yeah, dude, just get you fucking amped up, man. Yeah, so the effects that I had put onto that, I don't know why I named it flute. I think it's a violin. I don't know. It's just it's a spooky sound. I put on the Fruity EQ, and then I put on the RC20 Retro Color. Then I have the Fruity Reverb, the UAD Oxide Tape, and then I have the Fruity Delay. A little bit of volume automation as well, but nothing too crazy there. Now, next up, I have what makes this the final boss. I have little sound bites of Bowser that I had put a whole bunch of, plugins and effects on it to make it sound like even more ominous. So I'll just go ahead and play each one of the sounds individually for you, and then I'll tell you what I put into it. So this is the first Bowser noise. As you can tell, that's Bowser laughing. Then I have various screams as well. So the plugins that I put in for Bowser, I got the Fruity EQ, I got the RC20 Retro Color, I got the Fruity Compressor, I have the Fruity Reverb, I have the Valhalla Frequency Echo, Frequency Echo, and then I have the Pro L Fab Filter, and then the Smooth Operator. Yeah, a lot of bullshit went into that Bowser noise. And then I have the third and final melody to this, which is a vocal choir that I had. So this is how it organically sounds, kinda. This is, what I had originally started with. Yeah, really spooky. Then I have it chopped up, and this is how that sounds. Yeah, and I think I lowered the pitch slightly on that one too. Yeah, so that is basically it for the beat. Besides the final narration outro, which is probably the smartest thing he said so far, even though he said everything very smartly. This is the smart guy talking. Oh yeah, and it's also followed by the producer tag. And I put the producer tag at the very end of this beat because I wanted to be the last thing you hear on this album. So yeah, this is the last thing you'll hear when you listen to this song.
Up to this point, sound is a mechanical phenomenon. Then, electrically, and finally electrochemically, these impulses are transmitted to the brain, where they are experienced as the sensation of hearing.
Help us, boy Jizzle, you're our only hope.
Yeah, so that's the final boss, really. I'll go ahead and play y'all the high fuse part, and yeah, the final boss. I just wanted to say, if you guys even watched one episode or, tuned in at all or gave any a little bit of shit, it really does mean the world to me. I know that these are really weird and I know that I am kind of a weird guy, but music really does mean the world to me. I can't commit myself as hard as I'd like to because of, work and life and such. And just normal obligations I got to meet. But any off time I have, I really do try and commit to this. And I think I've made a lot of stuff that I'm very proud of and a lot of things I'm not so proud of, but even if this sounds awful once it's out, I still have a very soft spot for this album in particular. It's just the inner workings of my mind just put into melodical form, I guess. Yeah. So, with that, I will conclude the Our Only Hope instrumental breakdown series. And the next thing to look out for would be the Our Only Hope playoffs, which will be happening very shortly after the album drops, which will be February 13th of 2026, 12 o'clock, midnight, if you're in New York. Other time zones, that's up to you. Probably a majority of these people watching will be in California. So, 9 o'clock, this will be out. Our Only Hope, Volume 1, by your Boy Dizzle. Yeah, anyway, I'll quit doing that. I'm blessed to be able to do these beat making breakdown videos because even if you watch it later after you listen to the song, you'll get a more introspective look about how I made it and the processes and what I don't know and what I need to learn and all that. It's kind of a good update on my education I've made through this process, which is not much, but it's solid. Yeah. Our Only Hope, Volume 1, February 13th. I've said that a lot, but get in your noggin. And so this will definitely not be the last beat making video I create. There'll be a lot more here in the future. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you. Love you. And since it is the last episode, mwah.